Ladies, you want that Ephesians 5 type of man? Fellas, you want that Proverbs 31 woman? Yeah, I know. Today, I want to talk about why it's important to build a relationship on a solid foundation. And building relationships on a solid foundation isn't always about stability. It's about creating something that can truly endure and thrive. Imagine building a house on soil. It looks good on the outside, but if the foundation's shaky, it's going to be subject to collapse when the storms come. So having a strong relationship with a strong foundation, meaning what you don't see, is the key. So you have to be able to withstand the storms, withstand the troubling times. When the hard times come, you won't be easily shaken by the challenges and the misunderstandings that come along. I think both people in a relationship's mental framework make up the foundation for a strong relationship. You both have to be sharp mentally. You both have to value yourself and have standards for yourself before you can bring your drama and your baggage into a relationship. And I say it that way because everybody's got some drama and everybody's got some baggage. It's just knowing well enough that it may be an acceptable amount that you can bring into the relationship, and the other person can help build you up, or the partner in the relationship can help build you up based on your shortcomings. So I think strong relationships rest on foundational pillars, 4 to be exact, and that's just my point of view of it. I've been married for almost 35 years, so I think I may have enough experience to be able to speak on what I'm speaking on. The first foundational pillar that I think is important in a relationship is having trust and honesty. Without trust, a relationship is going to be fragile. It's going to be subject to falling apart. And then having honesty, that involves, just being truthful, having emotional transparency, showing your vulnerabilities, and trusting your partner's reliability and holding up the end of the deal. I think consistency builds trust. If you are doing what you have to do on a day-to-day, showing those consistent actions over time, then you're going to earn or build up your stock in your partner's trust. Trust isn't just given; it has to be earned over time. And I think small, reliable gestures build up or reinforce that trust or your belief in each other. I also think your vulnerabilities will strengthen your bonds. And, when you can show your vulnerable side without fear of judgment or fear of betrayal, that also helps build trust in one another, because the other person knows that they can trust you with their deepest, darkest secrets or things that, they have going on that not everybody needs to know about. You can trust them with that. So you showing your vulnerable side to your partner helps you build up that trust in them. And understand that trust is hard to earn, but it's easy to lose. One broken promise, you step out on your lady steps out on you, whatever the case may be, that one small mistake can undo years of trust. So that's why protecting that trust is so vital. That's important. Another thing to keep in mind is that forgiveness matters. You got to be able to forgive. Now, I'm not saying you forgive over and over, or you just keep falling prey to the same mistakes that your partner is making. Something's got to change, and it has to be discussed. And if the other partner is not willing enough to comply or go through with the change that you're trying to get across, then you might have to cut your losses and move on. But at the same time, you have to be able to forgive. Mistakes happen. So like I said, while trust can be broken, it can also be rebuilt through sincere effort. And if you're willing to change your behavior and patience. I think that's real big. A lot of people just don't have the patience. They don't want to tolerate it, or they've brought baggage from their past relationships into their current relationships. And you apply that to your new partner or the person that you're involved with now, and you haven't worked through those layers of distrust or dishonesty that you have from a previous relationship, which discounts your patience. Honesty. Being honest doesn't mean being harsh. So some people have what I call radical honesty, where it might come across as being harsh, but being honest doesn't mean being harsh. It's about being truthful and showing that you care and that you respect your partner. Have some integrity about yourself and have some integrity in your relationship. And I say that because a lot of times, I know men do this a lot. It's tempting to tell small lies to avoid conflict. But when you consistently do that, and the more your partner finds out about it, even if they're small lies, you're breaking down the integrity of the relationship. Your integrity is being compromised because you're not standing on truth. So you have to stand on truth even when it's difficult. And that way, you'll get to the point to where it's easier just to, go with what's right, man, because you got to tell one lie and then you got to lie about that lie. You start lying to cover up the other lies that you already told, and you find yourself in a pile of crap because you've compounded the lie so much. So just be honest, man. Stand on truth. Stand on your word, and you'll find yourself in a much better position in the long run, especially when it comes to building a solid relationship with your partner. The other thing to keep in mind is having open communication. Open communication can prevent a lot of misunderstandings, because a lot of us, I feel like, and ladies, don't understand me wrong, but I feel like women, when it comes to communication, make a lot of assumptions. You guys think a man should know what you mean when you say a certain thing or when you do a certain thing. You got to keep in mind that men are logical. We're straightforward. A lot of times y'all women will communicate something, but you don't communicate it clearly, and you expect us to just pick up on the rest of it. Quite frankly, we're just not trying to hear it, or we're not picking up on those subtleties that you're bringing across. Now, when you were in a relationship for so long, I know when my wife is trying to tell me something and she doesn't quite communicate it to me clearly, I'm able to pick up on it now because we've been together so long. So that's something that, just came with time. Number 2, respect and appreciation. I think each partner in a relationship needs to feel valued for who they are and what they bring to the relationship. Respect means you honor each other's individuality, you honor their ambitions, their personal growth, and then that appreciation reinforces love and gratitude in your everyday interactions. One of the things you can do that shows respect is being an active listener. A lot of times we're not really listening when we're communicating with our partners. We're only waiting to speak to get our point across, and we're not really listening to what the other person's saying. So it's about understanding rather than just waiting for your turn to speak all the time. So be an active listener. Boundaries matter. recognize each other's personal space, their emotional needs, and honor each other's differences, man, while trying to foster good connections. Be consistent in your actions. Those small daily gestures, keeping promises, being reliable, treating the other person with kindness. Those small things can a lot of times speak louder than those occasional grand gestures that we come up with, especially as men. We don't really show a lot of consistency sometimes, and then we wait until it's a big day, Mother's Day, birthday, or whatever, and then we want to show the grand gesture. Whereas if you're doing the small gestures all the time, a lot of times you normalize it for her, and the big gesture, you won't have to worry about the big gesture as much because you built up stock using the smaller gesture. So just keep that in mind. And then respect each other's growth, man. A lot of times, a relationship is a journey. People change. The old memo doesn't work anymore. So both partners are going to evolve. You're going to develop. You're going to mature. You don't see things today the way you seen them 10 or 15 years ago. So respect the evolution of each other, and if you're doing it the right way, you're going to grow and evolve together. So respect each other's growth. Appreciation. I think acknowledging the small things, as I was saying, those small gestures. Appreciation isn't just for the grand gestures. You notice the little acts, being thoughtful, supportive, kind words every now and then. That builds that warmth and security. Express gratitude a lot, man. Be grateful. When, your wife cooks you something, or your girl cooks you something, and she doesn't do it all the time, don't throw shade or, do anything. Just say thank you. Thank you, baby. I appreciate it. That'll encourage her to want to do it more. She sees that's an avenue to make you happy. She's going to want to do that for you more. You're expressing that gratitude, she's going to return the gratitude. Celebrate your partner's strengths and not just focus on their weaknesses. A lot of times, you want to help your partner build up their shortcomings and where they fall short in certain areas, but also focus on the things that they're good at. Be like, dang, baby, you knocked that out the park, or I see you really good at that. Maybe we should do something with that, just those words of encouragement, man. The next point I want to talk about is communication and understanding. And I think I hit on that quite a bit on the other two, but communication is important, especially with the way men think and the way women think. And I say that because as men, we tend to be more logical, and women tend to be more emotional. And for example, and I know for me, when my woman is talking to me or my wife is speaking to me, a lot of times if I get off work, I'll come home, she comes home and she's telling me something, or she's unloading, her day. A lot of times I'm listening, but I'm not really listening. And that's something that I'm working on. What I mean by that is I'm focused in on what I need to do, or is this something a problem I need to solve, or something wrong, and that's all I'm listening for. I'm not really listening to what else she's saying. I'm just listening for where do I come in and what solution can I provide to this problem that you're having. A lot of times women, they're speaking from an emotional standpoint, and they just want to get their point out or get their point across, and they're not really looking for you to fix anything. It might just be they just want you there to listen. So it's key that you understand that a lot of times women just want you to hear them out and not necessarily fix something all the time. But you also have to truly hear your partner's concerns, listen to their dreams, offer support, without judgment if you can, because when you understand your partner and you have it develops an emotional connection, or deeper emotional connection, and then commitment and shared purposes. So I think a marriage will thrive when both individuals are committed to growing together, working through their challenges, and aligning their lives toward a shared vision, a common purpose, whether it's raising a family, building some type of legacy together, walking through life's journey together. That'll strengthen their bond and, build their dreams beyond each other's personal desires. So I think when a relationship is built on a strong foundation, it becomes a source of strength rather than a source of uncertainty. So it provides stability when things are in doubt, and then also having a strong relationship, it'll align deeply with your philosophy of intentional living. So just like I encourage men to focus on or prioritize their purpose over fleeting pleasure, having a meaningful relationship must be rooted in something deeper than surface level attraction or convenience, if you know what I'm saying. It should serve as a catalyst for mutual growth rather than a distraction over your mission. So in other words, it has to get to the point where your partner is helping you build and not tear you down or hold you back. And that goes both ways. Also in a relationship, I think it's key to remember that you give up the I for we. The two become one. Why is that important? Because I think the vibes of one affect the other. When the two become one, I take that to heart, because if my partner's out speaking negatively, harboring hatred, having a bad attitude, and just doing things that cast a negative vibe out into the universe, I think that affects both parties. If I'm getting up every day and stating positive affirmations, trying to do positive things, trying to improve and live my life in a positive way, and my partner's out living the glass half empty, taking the glass half empty approach, always hating on somebody, or always having a negative attitude or a negative outlook on life, that's going to affect me too, because we're supposed to be in this together. So that being said, man, I don't want to go on too long about this, but I just wanted to point out a few things, get that off my chest, and hopefully these words can penetrate someone's relationship and be used as a foundation to help them build and do things as a couple to build that longevity and strengthen their relationship, man. So with that being said, hope you guys have a blessed day. Enjoy Elevate 555. Peace, and I'm out.